Hey, what's up guys? Hope you're all keeping safe and well. In this video, we're going to talk about the steps to get a band 8 in IELTS writing. It's going to be very challenging for many candidates, or it can be even a dream for many of them to get a band 8. So let's see how we can do that. But before that, I do appreciate if you like this video and subscribe to our channel. Okay, so let's talk about this one. So let's have a look at the task response. So in band 8, it is mentioned that the candidate should sufficiently address all parts of the task, present a well-developed response to the question with relevant, extended, and supported ideas. And in coherence and cohesion, it is mentioned that the candidate sequences the information and ideas logically, manages all aspects of cohesion well, uses paragraphing sufficiently and appropriately. And in the third criterion, which is lexical resource, the candidate should use a wide range of vocabulary fluently and flexibly to convey precise meaning. After that, he or she should skillfully use uncommon lexical items, but there may be occasional inaccuracies. It means one or two only in word choice and collocation. And the candidate should produce rare errors in spelling and or word formation. And the last assessment criterion is grammatical range and accuracy. The candidate should use a wide range of structures. The majority of sentences should be error-free, and the candidate should only make very occasional errors or inappropriacies. So let's talk about the first step. So we have some do's and don'ts. So we should answer, and our answer should be relevant to the question. What we should do, we should make sure that our ideas are directly related to the question. We shouldn't write off topic or bring irrelevant ideas. We should use ideas and examples that you're familiar with and that relate directly to the topics. So we might know some topics and we're not comfortable with using them, so try to avoid them. And we should extend our answers to include a number of ideas that will support the question. Remember, we are expected to give a well-developed answer, so our answers should be justified. And what we shouldn't do, we shouldn't bring irrelevant information, overgeneralize. So we can use some modal verbs, and we can use hedging technique so to avoid overgeneralizing. And we should avoid producing a memorized essay. And something very important, many candidates just write some research or statistics show, so it's not going to help us a lot. For example, writing at least 41% of all men, or according to some pieces of research. So these sentences are not going to be very helpful. We are expected to bring our own justifications. And the second step is to answer all parts of the questions. So here we have some examples. So to what extent do you agree or disagree? So the question has got one part. We can say we agree, disagree, or partially agree. So the second question type is discuss both views and give your opinion. So we have three parts. We should discuss the first view, discuss the second view, and also give our own opinion. So we have three parts. Why is this so? Give reasons for this and solutions. We have three parts, okay? Why, reasons, solutions. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? We have two parts. We're kind of expected to talk about both advantages and disadvantages. And why is this so? What effects does it have on individual and society? So again, we have three parts. So if we are going to get IELTS band 8 in writing, we are obliged to answer all parts of the questions. So what we should do and what we shouldn't do. So first, we should read the question carefully and decide how many parts are in it. So many candidates might quickly read the question, and so they might ignore some important parts of the question. The second one is to present your opinion and support it throughout the whole essay. So through your introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusions, your position should be very clear. if asked to present both views, make sure each view is presented equally, like discuss both views and give your opinion. So this should be kind of equal. Okay. Watch for plurals. If you're asked to give advantages, so you can see that it's a plural noun, you must present a minimum of 2. You should watch for and. You may need to comment or more on more than one element, and you should write more than 250 words. What you shouldn't do is to ignore parts of the questions. It's going to just limit you to a band 6 or even 5. Assume that your opinion is clear. Use the first person to ensure the examiner knows it's your opinion, I think. Yeah, so try to justify what you write, okay? So don't just take it for granted that we can understand. Tell the examiner what you're going to say and say what you have said. Yeah, so some candidates just start writing that in this essay I will, I don't know, talk about the 2 views before coming to a reasonable conclusion. So you should do that. So don't write it, and don't produce a short essay. The third step is to organize your essay logically with clear progression, using linking phrases. So what we should do, use a range of linking words and phrases, but don't overuse them. If you have overuse or underuse of linkers, we will be limited to a band 7. You should use adverbial phrases rather than single basic linkers. Like, for instead of saying secondly, you can say another reason why. Use referencing and substitutions to avoid repetition. This, them, the issue, the problem. So it's one of the aspects of cohesion. Use punctuation to make sure your writing is coherent. Make sure your ideas are sequenced correctly. So it's kind of challenging to get a band 8 in coherence and cohesion. You're not just expected to logically organize your ideas. You should sequence them logically as well. You should make sure your ideas are logical and easy to follow. Use separate paragraphs for the introduction and conclusion, and use one paragraph for each idea or topic area. So each paragraph should have a clear central idea. So what you shouldn't do is to overuse basic linking words like firstly. Instead, trying the first reason for, the primary reason for this. Start every sentence with a linker. Don't do that. Try to put it in the middle of a sentence, like some people, however. So you can put however in the middle. The individual must also take responsibility for the environment, or I believe, on the other hand, that individuals have a responsibility too. Don't use numbers, symbols, or abbreviation, as you can see. Use headings or subheadings. Don't do that. Your format will be faulty then. Underline words or phrase. Use one sentence paragraph, so they are going to harm your score. And start every sentence with a linking device. You don't need to do that. So not all sentences need a link. And the fourth step is to organize your essays into paragraphs. So we have some examples. To what extent do you agree or disagree? One suggestion is to write 4 or 5 body paragraphs. In the first paragraph, introduction. Second paragraph, reason why I agree or disagree. Third paragraph, another reason why I agree or disagree. And the fourth paragraph is a concession paragraph, reason why I don't agree or disagree. And finally, we have the conclusion. To discuss both view and give your opinion question. So we can write 5 paragraphs. So it's only one way to write this type of essay. So we can write the introduction of one view in the first body, another view in the second body, and on a separate paragraph we can write our own opinion. And finally we have the conclusion. Why this is so, give reasons and for this and solutions. Introduction, reasons why, reasons for this, solutions for this, and conclusion. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Introduction, if we want to say that we have more advantages, we can write 3 advantages in the first body, and in the second body we can write 2 disadvantages. And finally we have the conclusion. Why is this so? What effect does it have on the individual and the society? Introduction. why this is so, effects on individual, effects on society, and finally the conclusion. What should we do? We should use paragraphs. We should use linkers between and within your paragraphs. We should leave a space between each paragraph. Use a paragraph for each topic. Use an introduction and a conclusion. And don't use single sentence paragraph. Don't use very long paragraphs that cover a whole page for paper-based test. So let's move on to the 5 step. And we're expected to use less common vocabulary and spell it correctly. So try to use precise word choices, not just some general vocabularies. Use the language we use in our everyday speech. So we need to use common words as well. So our writing would be very strange if we try to just write less common words. Use words and phrases that are related to the topic, and collocation and phrasal verbs can be very helpful, like environmental pollution, major issue, promising future. And the things we shouldn't do: spelling mistakes, typo mistakes, mixing American and British spelling for band 8 is not suggested. Using a word if you don't understand it or can't spell it. Don't use imprecise words like stuff or thing. Don't use slangs like gonna, and some old-fashioned language. So remember that the vocabularies we need to use should be less common. They shouldn't be old-fashioned. Don't overuse synonyms. One is enough. So these materials have been taken from IDP website, so we can rely on them. So don't overuse synonyms, and don't use idioms and cliches. Don't use contractions. Use the full form. Not cannot, can't, not, no, cannot, doesn't, no, don't. And the 6th step is to don't use memorized language, phrase, or example. Like these things: the grass is always greener on the other side, love is blind, off the top of my head, old is gold. So these are not going to help you, okay? So the examiners are looking for your ability to write, not what you've memorized. So let's talk about some bad and good phrases. Instead of nowadays, we can use in recent times: can't, cannot. Controversial issues: the better version is major issues. The pros and cons, benefits and drawbacks. Firstly, the primary reason why. Secondly, lack of education is another reason why. Crux of discussion: the main key issue is. Stop, think, so use the correct word for that. E.g., no, don't use abbreviation, just write for example. Every coin has 2 sides. There are both disadvantages and advantages. A double-edged sword, many candidates use it, so the solution can also cause issues as, in a nutshell, in conclusion. And in band 7, the 7th step, we talk about the grammar. Use a variety of complex sentence structures. At band 8, it is expected that you can use a wide range of structures accurately to present your ideas and opinions. Show the examiner that you can use a wide range of structures and make sure your sentences are error-free. It is important to use a mix of complex and simple sentences, but remember, your complex sentences should not be long and complicated. Sometimes students just write 3 or 4 lines, okay, and they're just writing one sentence, and it's going to make it unclear for the examiner. Your punctuation needs to be accurate, using capitalization, commas, and full stops correctly. And finally, we have a checklist to do. So we should answer these questions. If our answers are yes, so we can be kind of sure that we are going to get a band 8. So did you answer all parts of the questions, sufficiently? Are your ideas and support directly relevant to the question? Did you avoid overgeneralizing the topic? Does the examiner know exactly what you think? And do you present this position clearly for the whole essay? Did you support your ideas with clear example, not vague research and survey results? Did you write over 200 and 250 words? For coherence and cohesion, ask yourself, can the examiner follow your ideas easily from the beginning of your essay to the end? Does it progress clearly? Introduction, main ideas with supporting examples, conclusion. Did you use a range of linking words and phrases? Did you avoid repetition and starting every sentence with a linking device, like firstly, secondly, thirdly? Did you use referencing and substitution? Did you use sufficient paragraphs? Did you use one paragraph to develop each idea? Is there a clear introductory and concluding paragraph? And for lexical resources, ask yourself, did you use a range of vocabulary that is on topic? Did you use precise vocabulary choices? Did you avoid memorized language, cliches like double-edged sword and proverbs? Did you use collocations correctly? And did you use appropriate uncommon words? Did you correct spelling mistakes? And did you check for typos? And did you use the correct form of the words you needed? And finally, the grammar. You should ask yourself, did you use simple and complex structures accurately? Did you use a range of structures, conditional, present perfect, relative clause, modal verbs? Did you avoid long, complicated sentences? Are your sentences error-free? Did you punctuate correctly? Did you use capital letters to start sentences and for proper nouns? Did you use commas in your complex sentences where needed? If government invests funds, so you can see that we have conditional sentences. Did you use full stop to finish sentences? And if you answer these questions, you can just realize whether you're going to get a band 8 or not. Okay, guys, hope you've enjoyed. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We're going to learn a lot together about the IELTS exam. I hope to see you again. Okay, do take care and bye bye for now.